Welcome to the channel. I'm Dr. Saab, and today we're exploring how AI agents are transforming healthcare. The digital revolution is moving medicine beyond electronic records and telehealth into an era of intelligent, proactive systems. AI agents are already integrating into clinical workflows, not as distant concepts, but as real tools augmenting our skills and reducing administrative burdens. These systems represent a new paradigm, human-computer collaboration that enhances patient care. Understanding AI agents is now essential for every healthcare professional. In this video, we'll demystify AI agents, examine their real-world applications, and discuss the challenges and opportunities they bring. Let's dive in and see how this technology is shaping the future of medicine. As we explore AI agents, we'll answer key questions. What are they? How do they differ from other AI tools? We'll look at their defining traits, autonomy, adaptability, and goal orientation. We'll examine real-world use cases, from automating documentation to managing patient communications and remote monitoring. We'll also uncover how these agents are built, focusing on large language models and frameworks that connect them to clinical data. Most importantly, we'll consider the future, how AI agents will augment, not replace, clinicians, and what this means for patient care. Understanding and engaging with this transformation is crucial for shaping a future where technology empowers better care. So, what exactly is a medical AI agent? It's a software system that perceives its digital environment, processes information, and autonomously acts to achieve clinical goals. Unlike passive programs, AI agents adapt to new data and make decisions with minimal human input. In healthcare, they interpret data from records, labs, or devices, then act, like drafting notes, flagging labs, or scheduling follow-ups. These agents are modular, combining reasoning engines, memory, and specialized tools for specific tasks. Think of them as virtual medical interns, handling routine work so clinicians can focus on complex care and patient relationships. This autonomy and adaptability mark a leap forward in healthcare technology. AI agents go far beyond chatbots or virtual assistants. They don't just answer questions, they initiate actions, interact with systems, and complete multi-step tasks. For example, an agent can check a patient's record, draft a response, and schedule follow-ups, all autonomously. They continuously learn from new data and clinician feedback, improving over time. Multiple agents can collaborate, mirroring a clinical team. One gathers symptoms, another analyzes, a third documents. Their real power is autonomous, real-time monitoring like tracking glucose and alerting physicians instantly. This proactive, persistent support is impossible for humans alone. AI agents promise more responsive, preventive, and personalized care. AI-powered virtual health assistants are revolutionizing patient interactions. Unlike basic chatbots, these agents conduct dynamic conversations, triage symptoms, and guide patients through complex processes. They gather histories, assess urgency, and recommend next steps, improving access and efficiency 24/7. By handling intake and routine questions, they free up staff for complex care. Integrated with scheduling, they match patients to the right provider and appointment. They also manage pre-op instructions, post-discharge care, and ongoing patient support, boosting adherence and reducing readmissions. Automated triage routes patients to the right care setting, optimizing resources and reducing unnecessary ER visits. The result? A more responsive, efficient, and patient-centered healthcare system. Perhaps the most celebrated application of AI agents among practicing physicians is the automation of clinical documentation. The burden of administrative tasks, especially the time spent charting in the electronic health record, is a primary driver of physician burnout. AI agents are now being deployed as ambient scribes that can listen to the natural conversation between a doctor and a patient during a visit. The agent then processes this conversation in real time to identify and extract all the relevant clinical information. It can then automatically generate a structured, comprehensive SOAP note, subjective, objective, assessment, and plan, accurately capturing the details of the encounter without the physician having to type a single word during the consultation. This automated documentation goes even further than simple transcription. The AI agent is intelligent enough to parse the conversation for specific clinical entities such as diagnoses, medications, allergies, and planned procedures. It can then take this structured data and populate the appropriate fields within the electronic health record. Furthermore, the agent can even suggest relevant billing and coding information, ICD-10 and CPT codes, based on the content of the visit and the generated note. This dramatically reduces the clerical workload on physicians, allowing them to be more present and engaged with their patients during the limited time they have together. ultimately restoring some of that human connection that's been eroded by digital paperwork. In addition to documentation, AI agents are serving as powerful clinical decision support tools right at the point of care. While a physician is formulating a diagnosis, an agent can work in the background, analyzing the patient's symptoms, lab results, and medical history against a vast database of medical literature and clinical guidelines. It can then present the physician with a list of potential differential diagnoses, ranked by probability, along with the supporting evidence for each. This doesn't replace the physician's judgment, but rather acts as a cognitive partner, helping to ensure that rare atypical presentations are not overlooked and providing a valuable safety net against diagnostic error. This decision support capability is also crucial for medication management and treatment planning. When a physician is considering prescribing a new drug, an AI agent can instantly check for potential adverse interactions with the patient's current medications, allergies, or underlying health conditions. It can also suggest alternative therapies or adjusted dosages based on the patient's specific profile, like their renal function or genetic markers. By providing this real-time, context-aware information, the agent helps to enhance patient safety and promote evidence-based medicine. It acts as an intelligent assistant, making sure that every clinical decision is as informed and safe as possible directly within the physician's workflow. AI agents are proving to be invaluable in the management of patients with chronic diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, and congestive heart failure. These conditions require continuous oversight, which is often challenging to provide through traditional episodic office visits. AI agents can bridge this gap by powering sophisticated remote patient monitoring programs. These agents connect to data streams from wearables and at-home medical devices like continuous glucose monitors, smart blood pressure cuffs, or digital weight scales. The agent can monitor this incoming data around the clock, looking for trends, anomalies, or any readings that fall outside of the physician-defined safe parameters for that specific patient. When the AI agent detects a concerning trend, such as a sustained increase in blood pressure or a series of hypoglycemic events, it can take immediate autonomous action. For instance, it can automatically send an alert directly to the clinical care team's dashboard, highlighting the patient's data and the specific nature of the concern. Simultaneously, the agent can engage with the patient through a secure messaging portal, asking clarifying questions about their symptoms or recent activities, and providing pre-approved educational content or behavioral nudges. This proactive vigilance allows for early intervention, often before a minor issue escalates into a major medical event requiring hospitalization. The role of the AI agent in chronic care extends beyond simple monitoring and alerting. It can also act as a personalized health coach, working to nudge and encourage positive behavior change over time. Based on the patient's data and preset goals, the agent can send tailored reminders to take medication, check their blood sugar, or engage in physical activity. It can deliver educational content in bite-sized, easy-to-digest formats, helping patients better understand their condition and the importance of their treatment plan. This continuous, low-touch engagement helps to keep patients motivated and accountable, fostering a stronger sense of self-efficacy in managing their own health between appointments. Ultimately, these remote monitoring agents are changing the paradigm of chronic disease management from reactive to proactive and personalized. They enable care teams to manage larger patient populations more effectively, focusing their direct attention on individuals who are most in need of intervention. For patients, it provides a sense of security, knowing that they are being watched over even when they are at home. This constant connection and data-driven oversight helps to improve clinical outcomes, reduce healthcare costs by preventing acute complications, and enhance the overall quality of life for millions of people living with long-term health conditions, demonstrating a powerful and practical application of AI in today's healthcare landscape. So, how are these sophisticated and capable medical AI agents actually created? The journey from a concept to a functional clinical tool begins with a foundational technology that has honestly revolutionized the field of artificial intelligence, the large language model, or LLM. These are massive neural networks, such as the well-known GPT-4 from OpenAI, Claude from Anthropic, or Gemini from Google, that have been trained on vast quantities of text and code from the internet. This extensive training endows them with an extraordinary ability to understand, generate, and reason about human language, making them the perfect cognitive engine to power an AI agent. They provide the core intelligence that allows the agent to comprehend a doctor's spoken words, interpret a patient's written query, or summarize a complex medical document. However, a general-purpose LLM on its own is not sufficient for the highly specialized and high-stakes environment of medicine. While it has a broad understanding of the world, it lacks the deep, nuanced knowledge required for clinical tasks. Therefore, The next crucial step in programming a medical AI agent is to refine this foundational model. This is achieved by further training, or fine-tuning, the LLM on curated, high-quality medical datasets. This specialized corpus can include the identified clinical notes, medical textbooks, peer-reviewed research articles, and established clinical practice guidelines. This process imbues the model with the specific vocabulary, syntax, and reasoning patterns of the medical profession, dramatically improving its accuracy and reliability for healthcare applications. The LLM serves as the central brain of the AI agent, responsible for processing information and making decisions. When the agent perceives new data, for instance, the transcript of a patient visit, it is the LLM that analyzes the text to identify key clinical concepts. It determines the subjective complaints, objective findings, the physician's assessment, and the proposed plan. This reasoning capability is what allows the agent to move beyond simple keyword matching and achieve a genuine understanding of the context. It can infer meaning, connect related ideas, and structure unstructured information, which is a fundamental requirement for tasks like generating accurate clinical notes or providing relevant decision support to a physician. Ultimately, the power of using LLMs as the foundation for AI agents lies in their remarkable flexibility and generative capabilities. They are not hard-coded with a rigid set of rules for every possible scenario. Instead, they operate on principles of understanding and reasoning, allowing them to handle the inherent ambiguity and variability of clinical information. This enables them to perform a wide range of tasks, from drafting an empathetic message to a patient to synthesizing information from multiple sources into a concise summary. The large language model is the essential starting point, providing the raw cognitive horsepower that developers and clinicians then shape and guide to create safe, effective, and intelligent medical assistance. While the large language model provides the core intelligence, it cannot perform actions in the real world on its own. To transform an LLM from a powerful text processor into a functional AI agent, developers rely on specialized frameworks and a suite of digital tools. Frameworks like LangChain or Microsoft's AutoGen act as a kind of digital nervous system for the agent. They provide the essential architecture that allows developers to connect the LM brain to various other components, such as memory modules and external tools. This framework is what enables an agent to perform complex, multi-step tasks by breaking them down into a logical sequence, or a chain, of operations that must be executed in a specific order. One of the most critical aspects of this architecture is giving the agent access to tools. An AI agent's effectiveness is directly related to the tools it can use to interact with its environment and retrieve information. This is often accomplished through the use of application programming interfaces, or APIs. For example, an agent can be given a tool that connects to the hospital's EHR via an API, allowing it to query patient data. It could also have tools that connect to a medical calculator, a drug interaction database, or the clinic's appointment scheduling software. Frameworks like LangChain manage how the agent decides which tool to use, how it formulates the query for that tool, and how it incorporates the tool's output into its reasoning process. To make this tool use process more seamless and reliable, companies like OpenAI have developed specific features such as the Functions API. This allows a developer to describe a set of available tools directly to the LLM in a structured way. When the agent is given a task, the LLM can then determine if one of these predefined functions is needed to fulfill the request. For example, if a physician asks the agent to schedule a follow-up for this patient in 2 weeks, the model can recognize that this requires the appointment scheduler function. It will then generate the precise, structured data like the patient ID and the desired date, needed to call that function's API, making the interaction between language and action more robust and predictable. Building on these concepts, some of the most advanced systems employ a multi-agent architecture. Instead of one single agent trying to do everything, the workflow is distributed among a team of specialized agents that collaborate to achieve a larger goal. For instance, a triage agent might handle the initial patient interaction, then pass a structured summary to a documentation agent whose sole purpose is to draft a perfect SOAP note. This documentation agent might in turn query a billing agent to suggest the appropriate codes. This modular approach allows for greater specialization and control, mirroring the way a human clinical team works together, with each member contributing their specific expertise to the overall process of patient care. The process of programming a medical AI agent is not a task left solely to software developers. It is a deeply collaborative effort that places physicians and clinical experts at the very center of the development cycle. This human-in-the-loop approach is absolutely essential for ensuring patient safety and clinical accuracy. One of the most important roles for physicians is to define the rules and guardrails that govern the agent's behavior. These are explicit constraints that prevent the AI from taking inappropriate actions. For example, a clinician would establish a rule that the agent is never allowed to provide a definitive diagnosis directly to a patient or prescribe medication without explicit physician approval and sign-off. These guardrails are the safety bumpers that keep the agent operating within a well-defined and clinically acceptable scope. Physicians help define the agent's goals and the boundaries of its autonomy. They determine which tasks are suitable for automation and which require direct human oversight. For a clinical decision support agent, a physician might specify that the tool can suggest differential diagnoses, but must always present them as possibilities for consideration, never as a final conclusion. This careful calibration of the agent's permissions is critical for building trust and ensuring that the technology serves as a supportive assistant rather than an unregulated actor in the clinical environment. Beyond setting rules, clinical experts are vital in the fine-tuning process. After the initial training on broad medical datasets, the agent needs to be refined based on real-world performance. Physicians review the outputs generated by the agent, such as its drafted clinical notes or its triage recommendations, and provide corrective feedback. This feedback is then used to further train the model, helping it learn the specific nuances, preferences, and communication styles of a particular clinic or specialty. This iterative process of review and refinement is what owns the agent's skills, making it progressively more accurate, reliable, and useful over time in its intended setting. Ultimately, keeping physicians at the forefront of the programming and validation process is what makes medical AI possible. Patient safety and the accuracy of medical information must always be the highest priorities. Developers provide the technical framework, but clinicians provide the essential subject matter expertise, ethical oversight, and real-world context. This partnership ensures that the final product is not just a technological marvel, but a genuinely helpful and safe tool that understands the complexities of medicine. By defining strict rules, providing continuous feedback, and carefully curating the data it learns from, the medical community actively shapes these AI agents into responsible and valuable members of the healthcare team. Let's talk about what's working and, what's not yet perfect. The most immediate and tangible benefit of integrating AI agents into clinical workflows is the profound impact on physician efficiency and well-being. The crushing burden of administrative work, especially the hours spent on documentation within the electronic health record, is a well-documented driver of professional burnout. AI agents, particularly those functioning as ambient scribes, directly address this pain point by automating the creation of clinical notes, order entry, and even billing code suggestions. This single application can return hours to a physician's day, time that can be reinvested into direct patient care, complex problem solving, and maintaining a healthier work-life balance, ultimately leading to a more sustainable and rewarding medical practice. Another significant advantage is the ability of AI agents to dramatically improve communication and engagement with patients. Virtual health assistants can provide 24/7 support, answering common questions, guiding patients through pre-procedure preparations, or reinforcing post-discharge care plans. This continuous line of communication helps to ensure patients feel supported and informed throughout their healthcare journey. For the clinical team, this means fewer routine phone calls and portal messages to manage, allowing them to focus their attention on more urgent or complex patient needs. This enhanced communication fosters a stronger patient-provider relationship and empowers patients to become more active and confident participants in their own care. Furthermore, AI agents are a powerful tool for scaling access to care, helping to bridge geographical and logistical barriers that often prevent individuals from receiving timely medical advice. In many rural or underserved communities, access to specialists or even primary care can be severely limited. AI-powered triage and virtual assistant tools can provide a crucial first point of contact, helping individuals assess their symptoms and directing them to the most appropriate care resource, whether it be a local clinic, a telehealth provider, or an emergency service. This democratization of initial medical guidance ensures that more people can get the help they need when they need it, regardless of their location or the time of day. The implementation of these agents enables a level of operational efficiency that is simply not achievable with human staff alone. By automating routine tasks like scheduling, triage, and patient follow-up, healthcare organizations can optimize their workflows and allocate their human resources more strategically. An AI agent can manage thousands of patient interactions simultaneously, ensuring that no query goes unanswered and that every patient is routed correctly. This creates a more responsive, streamlined, and cost-effective healthcare system, ultimately benefiting both the providers who work within it and the patients who depend on it for their care, creating a clear and compelling case for their adoption. Despite the clear benefits, the path to widespread adoption of AI agents is fraught with significant challenges, chief among them being data privacy and security. These agents require access to vast amounts of sensitive, protected health information, or PHI, to function effectively. Ensuring that this data is used, stored, and transmitted in a manner that is fully compliant with stringent regulations like the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, or HIPAA, is paramount. A single data breach could have devastating consequences for patient privacy and erode public trust in these technologies. Therefore, developers and healthcare organizations must invest heavily in robust encryption, secure data handling protocols, and rigorous access controls to safeguard this sensitive information at every stage. Another major hurdle is the complex and still evolving landscape of regulatory approval. As AI agents become more autonomous and take on more critical clinical functions, they increasingly fall under the purview of regulatory bodies like the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or FDA. The FDA is actively developing frameworks for overseeing AI and machine learning-based medical devices, but the process for validating and approving these highly dynamic and adaptive systems is far more complex than for traditional software. Determining how to regulate an agent that continuously learns and changes its behavior over time presents a unique challenge, and navigating this uncertain regulatory environment can be a slow and costly process for innovators in the field. This regulatory uncertainty creates a challenging environment for both developers and healthcare systems looking to adopt these tools. Hospitals and clinics need assurance that the AI agents they deploy have been rigorously vetted for safety and efficacy according to established standards. The lack of clear, finalized guidance can lead to hesitation, slowing down the adoption of potentially beneficial technologies. Establishing a transparent and predictable regulatory pathway is essential for fostering innovation, while simultaneously ensuring that these powerful tools meet the highest standards of patient safety and clinical reliability before they are integrated into routine care, a balance that is delicate and difficult to achieve. Moreover, the global nature of both technology and healthcare adds another layer of complexity. Data privacy laws and medical device regulations vary significantly from one country to another, such as the GDPR in Europe. For companies developing AI agents for an international market, this means navigating a patchwork of different legal and regulatory requirements. This can complicate product development and deployment, requiring tailored versions of the agent to meet local standards. Overcoming these legal and bureaucratic hurdles is a critical, non-technical challenge that must be addressed for medical AI agents to realize their full global potential in transforming healthcare delivery. Beyond the legal and regulatory frameworks lies a more fundamental challenge: building and maintaining trust in the AI agent's performance. This trust is really twofold, encompassing both physicians and patients. For physicians, the core issue is accuracy. AI models, especially large language models, are susceptible to what we call hallucinations, where they can generate information that sounds plausible but is actually factually incorrect. In a medical context, such an error could have, severe consequences. That's why every output from an AI agent, whether it's a drafted clinical note or a suggested diagnosis, must be carefully supervised and verified by a qualified clinician. Establishing this human-in-the-loop workflow is absolutely essential, but it also means we need a cultural shift, where physicians learn to work collaboratively with AI as a tool, not as some kind of infallible oracle. This need for supervision is directly tied to the issue of inherent bias. The datasets used to train AI models can reflect existing biases in medical practice and data collection, which can lead to the AI agent perpetuating or even amplifying health disparities across different demographic groups. For example, if an algorithm is trained primarily on data from one population, it may be less accurate when applied to another. Actively working to identify, measure, and mitigate this bias is a critical ethical and technical challenge. Building trust requires a transparent commitment to fairness and equity, ensuring that the AI agents provide reliable and unbiased support for all patients, not just a select few. From a technical standpoint, one of the most significant practical barriers to adoption is the difficulty of seamless EHR integration. Most electronic health record systems were not designed with AI interoperability in mind. They often operate as closed, proprietary systems, making it incredibly difficult for third-party AI agents to read data and write information back into the patient's chart in a structured and reliable way. Without this deep bidirectional integration, the utility of the AI agent is severely limited. It results in clunky workarounds, forces physicians to toggle between different applications, and really undermines the promise of a truly streamlined workflow, which actually hinders the very efficiency gains the technology is meant to deliver. Ultimately, overcoming these challenges of trust, accuracy, and integration is the final frontier for AI agents in medicine. It requires a concerted effort from all stakeholders. Technologists must build more reliable and explainable models, healthcare organizations must invest in the necessary integration infrastructure, and clinicians must actively participate in the validation and supervision process. Patients, too, must be educated about the capabilities and limitations of these tools. Only through this collaborative and cautious approach can we build a future where AI agents are trusted, integrated, and indispensable partners in delivering safer and more efficient healthcare for everyone. Looking ahead, what's coming next for AI agents in medicine? In the short term, we can expect to see the rapid proliferation of AI copilot systems embedded directly within every major electronic medical record. This represents a fundamental shift from AI being a separate, standalone application to an integrated and ever-present partner in the physician's daily digital environment. This copilot will function much like an intelligent assistant, constantly working in the background to anticipate the clinician's needs. It will help draft notes in real time, prefetch relevant patient data before a visit, and queue up order sets based on the likely diagnosis, all without the physician needing to issue a specific command. The goal here is to make the EMR a more intuitive and responsive tool. This near-future evolution will also bring about smarter, more automated clinical workflows. For example, consider the processes of patient referrals and discharge planning, which are currently complex, time-consuming, and prone to communication breakdowns. An AI agent will soon be able to manage these tasks with remarkable efficiency. Upon a physician deciding to refer a patient to a specialist, the agent could automatically identify the most appropriate in-network provider based on specialty, location, and availability. It could then compile and send the necessary clinical summary, track the referral status, and ensure the consulting report is received and reviewed, closing a critical communication loop that often fails today. Furthermore, we will see a significant increase in the use of ambient and passive data collection to inform clinical care. AI agents will be able to synthesize information not just from the EMR, but from a whole ecosystem of connected devices and communication channels. This could include data from a patient's wearable device, their responses to automated text message check-ins, or even sentiment analysis from their portal messages. The agent would then be able to present the physician with a more holistic and dynamic view of the patient's health status between visits, flagging subtle but important changes that might otherwise go unnoticed until the next scheduled appointment, enabling more proactive and timely interventions. Ultimately, these short-term advancements are focused on augmenting the human clinician and streamlining existing processes. The AI agent will become an indispensable tool for managing information overload and reducing administrative friction. It won't be making final clinical decisions, but it will handle the preparatory and follow-up work with incredible speed and accuracy. This will free up physicians and care teams to dedicate more of their cognitive energy and time to the high-level critical thinking, complex decision-making, and empathetic patient interactions that define the art of medicine, making the entire system more efficient and human-centered. Casting our gaze further into the future, the long-term vision for AI agents in healthcare becomes even more transformative, moving from augmentation to carefully managed autonomy. In this more distant future, we can envision the emergence of autonomous clinical teams composed of multiple specialized AI agents. These AI-led teams could be delegated the responsibility of managing entire categories of low-risk, protocol-driven clinical cases from start to finish. For instance, an AI team could handle the diagnosis and treatment of uncomplicated urinary tract infections or manage routine medication renewals for stable chronic disease patients, all under the remote supervision of a human physician who oversees the system's performance. This long-term vision also involves a much deeper level of integration and coordination across the entire healthcare ecosystem. AI agents will not just reside within the EMR, they will serve as the central coordinating hub connecting disparate sources of health information. An agent could seamlessly orchestrate interactions between a patient's wearable devices, advanced home diagnostic tools, their genomic data profile, and the pharmacy's information system. For example, upon detecting a potential arrhythmia from a smartwatch, the agent could automatically order a home-based ECG monitor for the patient, schedule a telehealth visit, and cross-reference their genetic data for any relevant predispositions, creating a truly interconnected and responsive healthcare experience. The ultimate goal of this long-term evolution is a paradigm shift from our current model of reactive, disease-focused medicine to one that is proactive and centered on personalized prevention. With the ability to continuously analyze a lifetime of an individual's health data from their genetics to their daily lifestyle choices, AI agents will be able to identify health risks with incredible precision long before symptoms ever appear. They will be able to design and implement highly personalized prevention strategies, providing tailored recommendations for diet, exercise, and screenings that are uniquely optimized for that individual's specific risk profile, making medicine truly predictive and preventative. It is crucial to reiterate that even in this advanced future, AI agents will not replace doctors. Instead, they will augment us in ways we have never seen before, allowing us to practice at the very top of our license. They will handle the data-intensive, routine, and predictive tasks, while human physicians will take on the role of system supervisors, clinical strategists, and experts in handling the most complex, nuanced, and emotionally resonant aspects of patient care. Those clinicians and healthcare leaders who understand, embrace, and help shape the development of these tools early on will undoubtedly be the ones who lead the charge into this remarkable new era of medicine. As we draw this deep dive to a close, it is abundantly clear that AI agents are not some distant, speculative science fiction concept. They are a powerful, tangible reality that is already beginning to reshape the landscape of medicine quietly, efficiently, and with astonishing speed. We have journeyed from defining what these intelligent systems are to exploring their current applications in documentation, triage, and chronic care management. We have also examined the very real challenges of privacy, regulation, and trust that we must navigate with care and diligence. The trajectory is undeniable. These tools are poised to become as fundamental to medical practice as the stethoscope or the electronic health record, fundamentally altering our workflows and augmenting our capabilities. Therefore, if you are a physician, a nurse, a healthcare administrator, or anyone involved in the delivery of care, the time for passive observation is over. Now is the time to get actively involved in this transformation. The development and implementation of these powerful systems cannot happen in a vacuum, driven solely by technologists. It requires the deep, irreplaceable insight of clinical professionals who understand the nuances of patient care, the complexities of medical decision-making, and the ethical imperatives of our profession. Your experience is the most critical ingredient needed to ensure that these agents are built safely, ethically, and in a way that truly serves the needs of both patients and providers alike. I urge you to take the next steps on this journey of discovery. Make it a priority to learn about these emerging systems. Seek out demonstrations, read the literature, and engage in conversations with colleagues and technology partners. If the opportunity arises, participate in pilot programs and test these AI agents within your own clinical environments. Provide honest, critical, and constructive feedback to the developers. Help them understand what works, what doesn't, and where the potential for error lies. It is through this collaborative, iterative process of feedback and refinement that we will collectively shape their development, guiding them toward becoming truly valuable partners in care. The rise of AI agents represents one of the most significant opportunities of our generation to address long-standing challenges in healthcare, from administrative burden and physician burnout to access to care and patient safety. By embracing this technology with a spirit of informed curiosity and responsible stewardship, we can steer its evolution in a direction that aligns with the highest ideals of medicine. We have the chance to build a future where technology amplifies our humanity, frees us to connect more deeply with our patients, and empowers us to deliver a standard of care that is more personalized, proactive, and effective than ever before. The future is arriving now, and it calls for our active participation.